Live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours. Now, this is regarding Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang now from Borussia Dortmund, because I think, there's been Chelsea interested in him because Conte is looking to reinvest into his squad, and, he's looking for someone to partner with Pavard Rata up front. That's on Conte's radar. Also, Liverpool have been linked with Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang because Klopp's probably keen on reuniting with Aubameyang, after they worked, together at Borussia Dortmund, Klopp and Aubameyang. And this is Aubameyang's 5th season now with Borussia Dortmund. So reportedly now, Everton, who spent over £100 million, in the August window, have struggled this season. They've been in good form in recent, matches. Rooney's been scoring well. He's been scoring quite a few goals with Rooney. But Everton are looking to still reinvest into their team. They've got Sam Allardyce now as their manager. As I said, Ross Barkley could still leave in the January window. As I said, he's currently injured at the moment, so he hasn't played for Everton this season as well. Chelsea potentially being linked with him as well. Tottenham were interested back in August, but reportedly Everton are considering putting £60 million in for Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang in the January window, because I think it has been confirmed that Borussia Dortmund are losing patience with the player, and also Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang has actually come out and said he is desperate to leave Borussia Dortmund, so he actually does want to leave Borussia Dortmund. But obviously Sam Allardyce and Everton are basically targeting Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang as an ideal replacement for Romelu Lukaku, because obviously they lost out. Manchester United, we got him for £75 million. He scored about 8 or 9 goals in the Premier League this season for us. He was Everton's top scorer last season as well. And, basically, it was one of their clinical players, Everton's, and they're looking to replace Romelu Lukaku, in their front line. And he's nearly scored a century of goals now, all in all, in the Premier League as the player as well. But reportedly, Sam Allardyce is planning to put £60 million in for Aubameyang to replace Romelu Lukaku. But Aubameyang, who's got 19 goals in 20 games in all competitions this season, and he's been the highest top goal scorer for the last few years with Borussia Dortmund. Last season 31 goals. Also one season, provided a lot of assists as well for Borussia Dortmund. Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang as well, being the highest goal scorer the last couple of years. 3 years, I think, on the trot as Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang. He's been voted best African player, African footballer of the year, as well as Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang made his international debut in 2009, and also got a good record. His acceleration's fantastic as Aubameyang. 30 million he did 30 metres in 13.7 seconds as well, did Aubameyang, and he was voted the 8th best player as well before was Aubameyang as well. But clinical, is an efficient finisher, very good in the air is Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang. And as I said, Everton are interested. He did sign a 5-year deal when he went to Borussia Dortmund in 2013. He's an ex-Inter Milan player, he's up the ranks there. When they went to 4 French clubs on loan, so he had experience of being in France as well. And then Borussia Dortmund got him in 2013 as well for £15 million. So, presumably Borussia Dortmund could make a huge profit on the player, in January, considering, Borussia Dortmund lost Ousmane Dembele, back in the August window as well to Barcelona, and I think that was only his 2nd season with Borussia Dortmund as well. But reportedly, Everton have stepped their interest up, and they have showed an interest in Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang as well. Also, potentially they're interested in Arsenal's Theo Walcott as well, Everton as well. But reportedly, Everton have now showed their interest. But obviously, reportedly, Liverpool have also been interested in. Liverpool were linked with him during the August window, because I think Liverpool still need a good finisher. Klopp used to work with Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang, as we all know. He says Chelsea have been interested in him as well. I think Borussia Dortmund did confirm he could be available for around between £55-60 million. So they will make huge profit, if they cash in on Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang. But a very good player indeed, as I said, and he can play as a forward. He can also play as a winger as well, can Aubameyang. But yeah, reportedly, Everton have showed their interest, and Everton are identifying him as a replacement for Romelu Lukaku, because they really haven't strength. Basically, Everton did get Ray Mooney, back, because he was at Old Trafford 13 years. I think it was about 13 years he went back to Everton. So, but they're basically, still looking for someone to strengthen up in their forward line. They've got the likes of Michael Keane, Everton. They've got quite a few players in Everton, but Sam Allardyce is still looking for the replacement for Romelu Lukaku, who left Everton back in the August window as well. And Ross Barkley could presumably still leave Everton as well, because potentially Chelsea have been interested in Ross Barkley. It did say, Chelsea is still looking to strengthen up the left the left back position, still looking to address that midfield and looking for a strong partnership with Aubameyang, Morata, in the front line. Conte, missed out on quite a few targets back in August. They missed out on likes of Lukaku. They did get Morata for £70 million. Chelsea still. They also missed out on Llorente. They made inquiries about Jamie Vardy, but never got a deal over the line. And Conte basically wasn't satisfied about this. But basically, he did. He wants to strengthen his team up more. Basically, so he can compete with the likes of City and Manchester United. This is what Conte had basically admitted with Chelsea. But basically, yes, Ross Barkley's been on the agenda. Ross Barkley, Everton were reportedly willing to offer him a new deal back in August. He turned this down. He is injured, is Ross Barkley. A £35 million fee reportedly had been agreed, but and he had reportedly had done a medical, going to Chelsea. But Barkley had reportedly, pulled out of the move, so he never made the move. He has been at Everton since he was 11 years old as Ross Barkley. So he's been there over a decade now, risen up the youth system very, very well as Ross Barkley as well, but presumably I think he is going to make the move from Everton in January, because Everton would rather cash in for him rather than let him go on a 3 in the summer. So presumably Everton could lose Ross Barkley as well. And reportedly Tottenham have also reportedly been interested in Barkley as well. But so the basically latest news is Everton are willing to put £60 million in for Aubameyang, as I said. So yeah, we'll see what happens, because I think he does want to leave Aubameyang, and Borussia Dortmund are actually willing to offload the player, and they are going to make a huge profit on the play as well. Also, another potential, Alex Sandro, as I did update you, has been mentioned in the press today. Alex Sandro reportedly did say Man United have emerged Alex Sandro as our number one target, because Chelsea have been heavily linked with Alex Sandro from Juventus. Very, very good left back, good strong tackler, very, very good in the air, good at driving forward. Is Alex Sandro as well. In his first 2 seasons, won the domestic double as well with Juventus. Alex Sandro potentially. Chelsea are still looking to strengthen up their left-hand side position as well, such as Jose Mourinho still looking to address the left-hand side of the Manchester United team as well. But reportedly, Alex Sandro has been mentioned in the press, and reportedly Man United have entered the race with Chelsea to go on and get the player. Reportedly, Alex Sandro has admitted that he does want to leave Juventus. He doesn't want to be there. He's feeling unsatisfied with Juventus, is Alex Sandro. But he is a very, very good player, strong tackler, very, very energetic, very well organised. And, as I said, he's an ex-Porto player, ex-Las Santos player. During his 4-year period at Porto, he played alongside Danilo, did Alex Sandro as well. And he did basically admit that he does want to leave Juventus. And I think Juventus, in reality, have accepted that he wants to go. I think Juventus tried offering him a new deal, but he turned this down. But Chelsea still looking to address left-hand side. And what I'm saying is basically, Chelsea were willing to pay a club record fee for Sandro back in August. I think they were willing to pay up to £60 million, for the defender, which would have been the highest paid fee for the defender if it had materialised, because obviously City, the most expensive defender now is Manchester City's pursuit of Benjamin Mendy. Of course, because City paid over £50 million. But as I said, Juventus had a price tag of around £80 million for him back in August. At Chelsea were reluctant and were resisted to pay, as much as £80 million. So Chelsea had opted out of the move, and I think Chelsea were actually preparing to offer him better wages than Juventus are currently giving him right now. But yeah, Sandro is a very, very good player, and I think this is his 3rd season now with Juventus as Alex Sandro. But potentially Man United have been interested. I think Juventus rate him at around £50 million, Alex Sandro. And Juventus lost quite a few key players over the years as well. This is probably why else Juventus didn't offload him. You've got Vidal there. Who left. You've got Paul Pogba who left as well. You've got Vidal who left, you've got Paul Pogba who left, you've got Benucci who left, you've got Dani Alves who left Juventus as well. So potentially, that's Chelsea's other main priority target now. Mourinho's entered the race for the player as well. So we will see what happens as well. I think I can't remember what contract I think he's still under contract for quite a few years yet with Juventus as well. Is Alex Sandro. So yeah, see what happens about that. And potentially what's also being mentioned in the press as well is about Juan Mata and what's his name, Mario from Inter Milan. Reportedly, I think he's a winger. There's been talks of Mata and him as a potential swap deal, because we know that Juan Mata is also another player like the likes of Daley Blind and Luke Shaw and Ashley Young and Herrera, who's coming to the end of the deals. Juan Mata's another player. Man United have not secured Juan Mata a new deal yet at Old Trafford, even though he did turn a big money move down to China, did Juan Mata. Juan Mata, very, very clinical, can play in that number 10, can play on the right-hand side. Hasn't played for quite a bit, to be quite fair, Juan Mata, but he's still very, very consistent and very, very lethal for Manchester United. But reportedly in the press, there's been talks about Juan Mata and, Juan Mario from Inter Milan as a potential swap deal. That Mario, don't know much about him. I know that Arsenal have been linked to him before. Don't really know much about him. I think he's an ex-Porto player. I think, ex-Porto player, I think he started his career with Porto, then he went to Sporting Lisbon for quite a lot of years, and then Inter Milan had, I think, got him then. I think it was around £40 million, and I think this is his second season with Inter Milan. He's Mario's, but he's been mentioned as a swap deal with Juan Mata. But Juan Mata basically turned a big money move out of China. Juan Mata, has about, I think he's made about over 2 century appearances now for Manchester United as Juan Mata. I think he scored 1 or 2 goals this season as the player as well, Juan Mata. Juan Mata, though, began his career at Real Madrid, as we all know. He reasoned up the ranks fantastic well there. Went to Valencia for 4 years, made 174 appearances. Then went to Chelsea, for 3 years. Won quite a few honours there. He's won the likes of, he won the FIFA World Cup with Spain in 2010 as well. He won the UEFA Under-19 Championship. He Juan Mata, and then in 2014, Man United, we purchased him during the David Moyes era. We purchased him for around £40 million, and he has been fantastic for us as well. But basically, the board have said Manchester United have to sell, before we can buy, and it's basically been mentioned that Jose Mourinho has had discussions with Ed Woodward about plans for the January window, as because he said Jose Mourinho still wants to reinvest, and I think Ed Woodward's going to be giving Jose Mourinho about 80-90 million pound to spend in January. But it did say Jose Mourinho has identified 4 left-footed targets as well, and this is what has been mentioned in the press as well. But basically, potentially, Jose Mourinho is still looking to address the midfield, still looking to address the left-hand side position as well. Presumably, we still need a creative winner, into the Manchester United team. Presumably still need someone at left-back as well, because as I said, there's been speculation about Luke Shaw going, there's been talks about Darmian could leave in January as well. And then there's just got a few players, that could, in the midfield that could go as well. But potentially talking about Luke Shaw as well, potentially, because we know Luke Shaw is frustrated, with the lack of game time, that he's been getting under Jose Mourinho. He's been frustrated about this, even though Jose Mourinho now could be a change of scenery, as I do keep mentioning to you. Praised him for his fantastic performance midweek on Tuesday night against CSK Moscow, and Jose Mourinho praised him, admired him, and he has promised him more chances into the Manchester United team, as Jose Mourinho has promised Luke Shaw more chances in the Manchester United team. Potentially Danny Rose basically is still a possibility, as we all know, because he's been the favourite to replace Luke Shaw. There has been talk, of a potential swap deal between Danny Rose and Luke Shaw as well. But Luke Shaw made his England senior debut in 2014. We purchased him for Southampton, £29 million back in 2014, where he'd risen up the youth system very, very well. There's been talks that Tottenham are interested in him. He may be keen on reuniting with Pochettino, because obviously they used to work together at Southampton, but we know Jose Mourinho gave Luke Shaw a lot of criticism last season. He hasn't been the same player since he broke his leg. We know that Luke Shaw's injury prone, as we all know, and he'd been out with injury for quite a long time. He's probably 4th, 5th choice left back now under Jose Mourinho is Luke Shaw, and he's still young, and he wants more game time, week in, week out. Does Luke Shaw as well? But potentially, it's mentioned Arsenal and Chelsea have also, presumably been interested in Luke Shaw as well, because he basically made it clear, if he feels his career could be over after fallout with Mourinho. That was updated quite a while back. But there has been talks about Danny Rose and Luke Shaw's potential swap deal, and Danny Rose and Luke Shaw's only played 32 times in the Premier League, don't forget, for Manchester United as well, since he's come to United. So he has had a difficult time since he's come to Old Trafford as Luke Shaw as well. But potentially, as mentioned, Danny Rose is a potential, possible replacement for Luke Shaw. There's been talks about, Luke Shaw and Danny Rose's potential swap deal. Did say in the press the other day that Tottenham are willing to offload Danny Rose for around £45 million in the January window. As it said in the press, they're willing to offload him for about £45 million. It did say Jose Mourinho is actually willing to pay up to £50 million for Danny Rose, and this is probably only, if Luke Shaw goes in the January window. As I said. As I said. But yeah, Danny Rose would be fantastic in my opinion, because Danny Rose, had been injured for about 9 or 10 months with Tottenham Hotspur. He's been at Tottenham 10 years. He's still under contract with Tottenham until 2021, as we all know in the current process. He's still under contract with Tottenham until 2021. He began his career at Leeds. He's been at a lot of teams on loan, as well as Danny Rose, and I think he has admitted he has no issue, with Pochettino, even though he wasn't satisfied with Pochettino, with Pochettino dropping Danny Rose, for key games as well. But Danny Rose, as I said, he did criticise Tottenham for their lack of investment in the window back in August. He clearly wasn't satisfied with the wages he was receiving. He did criticise Tottenham Hotspur Football Club as well, did Danny Rose. But yeah, he'd be fantastic because he's distinct in his players, his tackling instinct's good, his defensive distribution's very, very good, his work rate's good, the effort he puts into his games very, very good as well as Luke Shaw's. So yeah, we will see. Sorry about that. Sorry, should I say Danny Rose? Mixed my words up there. But yeah, Man United are being heavily into it. He did say he was willing to turn Chelsea down to make a move to United, because he's also, Chelsea really interested in him as well. Also to basically update you with as well is about Matteo Darmian, because there has been speculation talks over the last week or so or whatever that Darmian could leave. That Darmian could leave Manchester United as well. The ex-Torino player, where he had 4 fantastic years with Torino as well. Darmian, Matteo Darmian began his career with Inter Milan at just the age of 17 years of age. Went on loan, went to Parma, and had 4 fantastic years with Torino. I think since he's come to United, this is his 3rd season now. He's made about 77 appearances in the Premier League. He's also another player, who's fallen down the pecking order with Mourinho, like Luke Shaw and that. He hasn't had much game time, in the Premier League this season as Matteo Darmian, when at the FA Cup in his first season with us, made his international debut in 2014 as well. And it's reports from it to have actually stemmed that Napoli and Sevilla, and I think it's mentioned in it, Milan have been interested in Darmian as well. But there were talks basically saying that Darmian and Luke Shaw, could actually go in the January window as well. We know there's also been talks about Daley Blind as well. Says he feels his career could be over in the summer. Daley Blind, Daley Blind has made about... How many appearances has he made? I think Daley Blind's nearly made a century appearance in Premier League for United, made his international debut in 2013. The ex-Ajax player, where he won 4 Eredivisie titles, as I do keep saying. This is his 4th season with Manchester United, because we paid nearly £14 million, was it, for Daley Blind, and he is under contract with Manchester United. Well, he's coming to an end of his current contract, but we do have the option to put a further 12 months on his current contract, which would take him, at the club until 2019. I don't think Man United have been in talks yet of securing Daley Blind a new deal at Old Trafford. He's had the lack of game time this season in the Premier League, but in the European Cups he has been mainly playing as a Daley Blind. Can play as defensive mid, can play as a centre back, can play as a full back as well, can Blind. But without doubt, Ashley Young has been definitely our best player on that left hand side. Especially Ashley Young's been fantastic. And this is why Jose Mourinho's been choosing him more often, as we all know. But also another player mentioned in the press, as I did keep it saying, looking like now what it's according to the press, Leon Goretzka, also Jose Mourinho, has been interested in Leon Goretzka as well. But reportedly it has actually said from the press reportedly about Leon Goretzka that Arsenal are closing in on a deal of getting him on a free transfer in the summer. Leon Goretzka, reportedly, he's just recently suffered an injury with Schalke as well as Leon Goretzka, plays a defensive mid, he can play on each wing as well. So his versatility is very, very good. He's Leon Goretzka. His work rate's good. He's an upcoming fantastic young age prospect as well as Leon Goretzka. I've said very, very good for Germany. Reportedly, he says Arsenal are closing on a deal to get him on a free transfer because he's currently coming to an end of his deal. He's currently suffered an injury. I think it's something to do with a leg problem or something like that. But obviously Arsenal are identifying replacements for Ozil and Alexis Sanchez as well in the current, because Arsenal transfer policy has been appalling in the last couple of years to say as well. But Leon Goretzka has been mentioned in the press. He's been to likes of Manchester United, Bayern Munich, Barcelona. And yeah, Leon Goretzka, this is his 5th season now with Schalke. Is Leon Goretzka. This is his 5th season now with Schalke. Is Leon Goretzka. Schalke, and I think paid like £3 million. Paid like 3 million, was it, for the player? He recently ranks fantastically well with Schalke. His joint top scorer in the Confederations Cup as well was the current player. And I think these teams are set to approach Leon Goretzka representatives as well in the current process. And also the director of Schalke has confirmed that he wants him to stay. Schalke have offered him a new deal, but I think he's turned this down. And I think he does actually want to leave Schalke, does Leon Goretzka, and also made his professional debut for Bochum in 2012. And he was at Bochum quite a lot of years as well, was Leon Goretzka as well. But Arsenal he says Arsenal are closing in on a deal for the player, but there's been a lot of other teams interested as well. Because obviously Jose Mourinho, is trying to identify a replacement for Milliom as well. Because Jose Mourinho is concerned you could lose Milliom on a free transfer in the summer. But Jose Mourinho does want to keep the player. We could cash in for him in January if Man United don't sign him a new deal. Looking like we're at the moment, we're not going to sign him a new deal because he obviously turned the latest new deal we offered him down. But yeah, Jose Mourinho's concerned we're not even prepared to cash in for him in January. So basically, Mesut Ozil has been mentioned as well, and I said this could be a huge blow up for Manchester United, getting Mesut Ozil, because Jose Mourinho says he's a good number 10. Mesut Ozil, has been mentioned in the press, for weeks and weeks, with him being linked to have a move to Old Trafford, being linked to have a move to Barcelona, as well, Mesut Ozil. Reportedly, it says in the press that he's actually close to agreeing a new deal with Arsenal, because we know that the contract talks are stalled for quite a long time. And it did say about 3 or 4 weeks ago that Ozil's agent had suggested out that the contract talks had been going in the right direction. But reportedly, there has been further more talks. Reportedly, it's been going around social media that Ozil is close to signing a new deal, allegedly, and it's put Arsenal fans into a frenzy as well. But reportedly there has been more talks between Ozil's representatives and Arsenal Football Club, and it said these contract talks reportedly have gone in the right direction. So this means now Ozil could sign a new deal with Arsenal, but if he doesn't sign a new deal before the 31st of December, Arsenal then will try and cash in for the player in January, rather than let him go on a free transfer in the summer, because Man United were actually planning, I think Man United preferred to actually wait until he sees out his current contract and then get him on a free transfer in the summer. But it did say, and he's also been demanded a higher wage increase. He's been demanding wages of over £300,000 as Mesut Ozil as well. So basically, Coutinho from Barcelona did actually say he'd rather see, Messi said at Barcelona he'd rather see Coutinho over Mesut Ozil, because obviously that's just Barcelona's alternative is Mesut Ozil, in case they do fail with the pursuit of Philippe Coutinho. But saying that Arsene Wenger has basically said that Ozil and Sanchez will not be sold in the January window, and Arsene Wenger basically has made this clear. And reports coming out the other week saying that Ozil, had agreed a contract to join Barcelona. He'd agreed to join Barcelona. Ozil's agent had been in discussions with Barcelona as well. Arsene Wenger basically denied this, and he did say Ozil is actually keen on staying in the Premier League as well. But Jose Mourinho says he's got number 10, as I said, and Jose Mourinho's keen on reuniting with the player, after they worked fantastic together at Real Madrid. They were working together for 3 years, and, as I said. And, he's also experienced being in Germany, because he was in the Bundesliga for 5 years as well, was Mesut Ozil as well. He was in the Bundesliga, for 5 years, was Mesut Ozil, and Arsenal paid £42 million for him from Real Madrid, the current World Cup winner. And this is his 5th season now with Arsenal. He's Mesut Ozil. He's made all century appearances. He's also got a record of assists as well as the player. So we'll see what happens. But I do really like Mesut Ozil. I think he'd be fantastic at Manchester United with Mesut Ozil. We're in search for quite a few midfielders, as we all know. We've got now Pogba suspended. We've had injuries over the last couple of years. Mkhitaryan hasn't been getting chosen often recently by Jose Mourinho due to his recent bad form. You know, we've got Carrick, who's coming to an end of his career soon. You know, we've got Fellaini, that's coming to an end of his deal. So this is why Jose Mourinho is looking and eyeing up replacements, and it does make sense. And Jose has spent 300 million in 3 transfer windows, as we all currently know. But basically, Barcelona, I think, will only make a move for Ozil in January if they do fail with the pursuit of Philippe Coutinho, which is basically their main priority target as well. So anyway, the big breaking news is about Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang anyway. We've added some more transfer as well, but the main part about this is Everton, you know, willing to put £60 million in for Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang in the January window. Because Borussia Dortmund made it clear, you know, he is likely to leave, but I find it hard to believe that he would actually join Everton over the likes of Liverpool and Chelsea, basically, because they're Liverpool and Chelsea are much big. They are clubs that are a lot bigger than Everton. So I would, you know, and Aubameyang's in Germany, and he is with a pretty decent side, Borussia Dortmund, so I can't really see him joining Everton and, you know, working with Sam Allardyce. It could potentially happen, we've seen it happen, but I don't see it happening. I think if he moves, he'll either go to Liverpool or Chelsea, and I think at Chelsea-Liverpool, he would make the move to Chelsea. Could make the move to Liverpool because it could be beneficial for Liverpool. You know, Klopp's worked with Aubameyang in the past, but we'll see what happens. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing to our channel. As always, take care. God bless, guys, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye.